and less deadly. We're going to have a word of just conversation. I'm going to invite Nate to come up here, and we're going to talk about this. And we've never done this before, so we don't know the best way to do this. We thought maybe what we'll do is just have a quick question and answer session, and Nate and I can look at some of those. So where's that? I do have that slide there. Some of the questions and answers that we've been asked already or that we think that might get asked, we're just going to pose them to each other like we haven't already talked about this before. All right, so. Yeah. All right, I'm going to ask the first one. So, Nathan, what if someone says, I'm not sure I could participate, I have to use my phone to work?
Yeah, so let me just say thank you for the sermon. I think that was really good and really helpful. So this is something that a couple people have asked already, and I think Pastor Daniel kind of talked about it a little bit. There's a distinction in this 28-day fast between the apps that you have to use for utility or productivity and the apps that you go to for distraction. So this is not, we're asking people to put their phone in the drawer for 4 weeks. It's not that. It's use your phone as you need to use your phone, but then when you don't, try to make a little bit of space in your life to set your technology aside to reconnect with God and with others. So that's primarily what this is about. So for a little bit of context, let me just say, the 28-day fast that we're doing it's a guided fast that we are wanting to invite everybody to do together. So as we get started next week, beginning with Lent, we'll be able to walk through it together. But just for the context, this is what Daniel's been talking about. So, question for Pastor Daniel here, because this is another common question. It's the whatabouts. Okay, well, man, I really enjoy watching sports. You're telling me I got to give that up? Or what about the news? Or we are doing this in March, so if we got any college basketball fans, what about March Madness? Does it apply to TV as well? You know, is it just my phone or what? So how would you answer that to somebody who's asking?
Well, I would say do what you can and not what you can't. But you can probably do more than you think. So what I mean by that is you may not feel like it's possible for you to do away with all screens altogether. That's fine. Maybe what transformative effect though would it have if you just halved your screen use, right? So we want this to be something flexible enough that it can be something in your life, in your spouse's life, if you're doing this together, that hits where you are distracted the most. Let me give you an example. I'm very distracted by the internet. So for me, this means I'm going to cut that out as much as possible that I can. I do need to do this to some degree for work, but for the most part, I'm going to cut out 90% of my usage there. Amy and I, however, watch Jeopardy every night together. That's part of our bonding experience now that we're older, you know. So we watch that together, and we've talked about this. And I'm not sure if we'll keep that up or not, because on the one hand, it's a bonding experience together. It's not something that's really addictive. We're not really wasting that much time because we're doing it together. It has meaning. But on the other hand, maybe it'd be better to just not even turn on TV for those 28 days. So we're kind of thinking through that a little bit. But I think where we're going to land in regards to TV and things like that is if we're doing it with each other or other people, then that's probably a way that we're doing it for a good reason, especially if we can enjoy that together as part of that. So the answer is maybe. You get to decide. This is to help you, not to enslave you. So make it an intentional choice about those other screens beside your phone, and then go from there.
Abby and I are in a completely different season of life. And for us, I'll just say, like, we will eliminate the TV use in the evening because we don't get very much time together. So for those of you who don't have small kids, like you have more time together, that may not be something that takes up a lot of real estate of your time together because you guys, right. But for us, all of our attention, except for the last couple hours of the evening, is going to kids. So for us to watch TV in the evening would be a distracting thing. So we want to use that time to connect to each other. So that's the heart of this, is discernment of what's best for us, what's gonna work for us, and to try to lean in a little bit. So that's
Right.
good. Thank you. Yeah.
Discernment and intentionality.
Yeah. Exactly.
Number 3, can others outside of FCC do this?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. You want to expand on that, or are we good?
I've invited about 16 of my friends. I don't know.
Eager beaver.
Well, I'm an overachiever. Dan told me he invited 15, so. No, invite your friends. Look, here's the thing. This, I think, will be a gift to everybody who participates. And everybody that I've said, hey, here's something that we're doing you might be interested in. Everybody's like, oh, man, yeah, I got a problem with my phone and my technology used to. I would love to check that out. So invite your friends. If somebody comes to mind, here's what I'll do. I will copy and paste the text message that I've been sending my friends into the church chat, so you can take it and replace the name and send it to your friends as well. And it comes with a little promo video and the registration link. It's pretty good. So.
All right, cool.
Okay, so one of the things that you mentioned was wanting to pursue something meaningful and enjoyable together. I'm curious your thoughts on what that can look like for us, especially folks who maybe don't know what that could be for them.
Well, yeah, and I gave some suggestions there, but there could be a lot of things. Like I remember I used to enjoy making models, and I enjoy building or doing puzzles. I enjoy reading. I used to be able to write song lyrics even, and poetry. And these are all things I found meaningful and enjoyable, but they've been crowded out because I've been spending too much time in front of the screen. So other people might be crochet. It might be some physical project. I think it's great if it's something that's creative instead of just consuming something else, but it might be baking something together. It might be getting together with friends to read a book together or a Bible study. It might be taking hiking trips with a friend. So it can be any number of things. Cool. Those are just some suggestions.
And one thing about that is if you want to do it together and invite somebody along, we got that discussion channel in the app. Hey, I'm getting together and we're going to go for a hike in Brown County. Anybody want to come? Could be an opportunity to make a friend.
Yeah. Kind of related to that, we're encouraging people to do this with a few other people in a group. What if I can't meet with the group? Can I do the fast without committing to that?
Yeah, this is a great question. So part of the way this is, the plan for this to work is to set up groups for people to be able to do this in community, going right along with Dan's last point. Now, I realize that people in this room have various levels of flexibility with their schedules and everything. So what we've thought about doing is giving a few different ways that people can engage in this. I don't know, do we have the slide of the little breakdown of the...
Let's see here.
Nope. I think it's in your notes.
It is.
So if you have a lot of flexibility and you want to engage in this, get with a group of a couple people, spend a couple hours together a week, watch the weekly video together, share a meal, debrief your process, how it's going, spend 2 hours together on a Wednesday evening or a Saturday morning or whatever. If you don't have that much time because you feel like you're up to your neck in activities, then what does it look like to get together for an hour with somebody at a coffee shop or something like that? Maybe not share a meal together, maybe not watch the weekly video, but still debrief the process. Or if you still don't have very much time, what does it look to once a week, intentionally inviting community into this by picking a friend and saying, hey, can we just call while I'm driving? Just pick somebody, a friend, and bring community into this. So it doesn't have to be 2 hours a week if you can't handle that because of other commitments. We totally get that. But how can you intentionally bring community into it? Because we truly feel like that's a really important part of it. So anything to add there?
Nope.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Cool. Where are we at here?
Number 7.
Number 7. Okay, Dan, what happens if I blow it?
You lose your salvation.
Oh, jeez.
So don't blow it.
We're not even, you can't even joke about that. That's not.
So I think you said the the pastor at Redeemer had a good phrase, patternly, not perfectly. So seek the pattern. Don't worry about perfection. That places way too much emphasis on whether you're achieving this or not. Just seek a pattern. You're probably going to fail. That doesn't mean that you're not in the pattern of that. Just keep headed towards that direction.
Nice. I like that. Cool. The app.
Oh, we did.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Okay.
All right, what's this about an app?
Okay, this is good.
Thank you.
The most ironic part of the whole thing. So part of the digital fast is to download something called the RO app. And what the RO app does is it adds a really fun component to the whole fast, because all that the RO app does is allows you to track sessions of time off of your phone. So I'm about to go on a date with my spouse to Bob Evans, and I'm leaving my phone at home. I turn on the RO app, and then it tracks that amount of time. And what this does is it allows us, as a church family, we have it set up as a group where we'll be able to track our collective time off, and then also add a little bit of a fun competitive element to it as well. So next week during life groups, we'll get set up, getting everybody who's involved on this. And as Abby and I have practiced this, it's been really fun to compete, and also to see that over the past 4 weeks, I've tracked 4 days off my phone. So, which is like, I don't know, 120, 150 sessions of, okay, I'm spending time with the boys, I'm going to set it down, I'm going to track this. So it doesn't block anything, your calls still come through. All it does is track it and then bring community and bring a fun element into it. So we'll get that set up for folks who are part of this.
Yeah. So in case we haven't made it clear, we're encouraging us to start this next week, which is the first week of Lent.
Yeah.
And we'll set up groups in the app and stuff during the life group time. All right. One last question. So what if someone says, I feel like I don't have a problem with my phone or my screens, my tech. This isn't for me. What would you say?
Mm-hmm. It's a good question.
All right. Thank you. I think you wrote it.
Yeah. We realize not everybody in here has a problem with their phones like I may. But there is strength in doing this together. Paul talks about the whole body of Christ and different parts and different people being different parts, and you need everyone. For those who have really challenging relationships with their phones like me, we need the people who don't have as much of a struggle with their phones to be in this and doing it together, because we need models. And for the people who don't have struggles with their phones, it's really good to be in community, to be able to empathize with so many people who are struggling with this. So we want to invite everybody, no matter what your age group is. Let me say this too. If you notice that this is a problem in society, anybody in here notice this is a problem in society, we as a church have an opportunity to be a community of resistance in an area where our culture is struggling. So if you feel like, I don't need this, but my spouse does, I don't need this, but my kids do, I don't need this, but my grandkids do, an opportunity for you and your church together to model that we in Christ want to pursue something greater than the shiny little device that buzzes at us every 15 minutes or 15 seconds. So really, please, we really hope for 100% participation in this. We're not going to twist your arm. But we want to make it as accessible as possible for people to be able to be included to some degree or another, to invite community and conversation around this element that might be the deepest place of pain in our world today. So you're invited.
Great.
Register on the app. Obviously, we're not twisting anybody's arm. It's a guided 4-week fast. If you felt convicted during Pastor Dan's sermon, we're going to continue the conversation for 4 weeks. We're going to detox a little bit, and we are going to do this alongside community. We've never done anything like this before,
No.
but we're excited to what it can do here. So invite your family, invite your friends, and sign up. If the cost of the $15 for the workbook is a problem, it's no problem. When you register, there's a, hey, finances are tight right now, totally fine. There's also a, hey, I'd like to buy my book and somebody else's, and some people have already registered and covered your books. So don't let finances be a challenge. What a great opportunity to kind of lean in, focus on the Lord for 4 weeks, and try to eliminate some distraction. So
Great.
that's our pitch.
Awesome. Thanks. And again, we're going to ask worship team to come up because the goal here is not to say no to something, but rather to say no to something so we can say yes to something greater than that. Our renewed attention on the things that matter, and most supremely, of course, our Lord, the one who made us, redeemed us, the one who will give us all good things through him. So we're going to sing, Be Thou My Vision, as we close.